The Bambu Lab H2D is a great printer for flexible material. Thanks to the dual extruder tab, you can print TPU while using PLA for supports, resulting in a professional quality print. Until now, printing flexible filament, especially the soft ones, requires incredible slower speeds. This is because pushing a thin 1.75 flexible material through the extruder is very difficult. To increase the speed, you need a stable push. That's why we have created the Filaflex 2.20mm. This is not a just harder TPU. This is a Filaflex 2.20mm. More control, more stability, more speed, and more success with your flexible 3D prints. In this guide, I will show you how to install it on your Bambu Lab H2D. What we are going to do? First, prepare the H2D. We will access the right hotend where the modification will take place. Second, the hybrid step. We will perform a simple modification to make your printer compatible with both 1.75mm and 2.20mm filaments at the same time. 3. Install the recursive hotend. We will mount a new hardware. 4. Software setup. We will adjust 3 settings in Bambu Studio or use our ready-to-go profiles. And with this, we will have our printer ready for our first print with Filaflex 220 and flexible TPU. Why 220mm works? With flexibles, the main problem isn't the temperature. It's that the filament bends and compresses and clogging, losing its pushing force. With 220mm, the filament is thicker and acts like a stronger column. It reaches the hotend without twisting or clogging. The result, you can print faster and with fewer errors, even with very soft materials. Low source hardness like 68 or 78. Safety. In this tutorial, we are not going to modify the firmware or touch the electronics of the machines. We are going to change the hotend, and it will be necessary to make the right channel wider to have a hybrid compatibility for 220mm and 1.75. For safety, whenever we indicate it in this tutorial, unplug the printer, make sure it's completely cold and works calmly, with the right tools and the well-lit area. Keep in mind that any modification can affect the official warranty of the manufacturer. If you decide to continue, you do so under your own responsibility. Take your time and don't force anything. If you have any doubt, contact us at recursive.com. Tools and what you need. We prepared the necessary tools. For this update, you only need the recursive 220mm kit for H2D. This includes a 220mm hotend ready to use and a manual hand reel that will allow us to enlarge the filament path in the right extruder channel. Time: approximately between 10 and 50 minutes the first time. Installing the 220mm hotend on your Bambu Lab H2D, step by step. To begin, move any object of the top part to be able to remove the glass and have free access from above. Step 1. Unload the filament. If your printer has any filament loaded, unload the filament to be able to remove the hotend. Perform this step from the screen or in the way you are used to do. Even though we are only going to change the right one, we recommend unloading both filaments to work more comfortably. Step 2. Lower the bed. With the filaments unloaded, lower the bed almost to the very bottom. This way, you work comfortably and with the necessary space to manipulate the extruder. Step 3. Remove top cover and remove the feeding PTFE tube. Remove any object from the top of your printer and remove the glass cover to have free access from above. With our printer, without the top cover, remove the Teflon feeding tube from the extruder by pressing the trigger that releases the tube. Step 4. Remove the front cover of the extruder. The front cover of the extruder is the cover that protects the extrusion system. Facing your printer, put from the top to separate the protective cover from the extruder. Step 5. Remove the hotend. At this point, we are going to remove the hotend. Activate the right hotend on the screen selector to be able to remove it. But before, remember to check the temperature of the right hotend, as it must be cold to be manipulated. Now, you can remove the silicone shock that protects the hotend. Open the hotend support that keep it in position and remove the right hotend for your printer. Step 6. Enlarge the right filament channel. This is a step that will be only performed the first time we make our printer compatible with 220mm system. This way, we can use 1.75mm and 220mm filaments in hybrid way. It is very important that you follow the instructions exactly as we present them in this tutorial and our website to be successful in the modification. Don't worry, this doesn't affect your print or quality at all, but it allows gaining a few microns so that the 220mm pass easily. As you can see, we are simply going to enlarge the channel. In this channel, no part of the extruder that can be damaged is touched. It's a simple lower and upper plastic passage. To do this, we mount our tool, which is included in the 220mm hotend pack. We are going to enlarge the upper part of the right side first. Remember that we are not going to touch the left hotend. Activate the right hotend on the screen selector so that it remains active. We insert as vertical as possible from above and turn very gentle. It will make its own way. Leave the drill as far as possible or up to the mark without inserting it to the end. This will help you have more space to work. It's not necessary to apply excessive force. Advance until you notice you reach the extruder gears. This will be our notice to stop and extract the tool by turning in the opposite direction. Now, we have the upper right channel adapted. Let's go with the lower part. Now, activate the left hotend on the screen selector so that it remains active. The system will move from the side to other. Turn off the Bambu Lab H2D and disconnect the power. With the printer off, manually move the flow blocker from the right side to the left. This way, you can work cleanly on the right side. We repeat the operation for the lower part. Again, as vertical as possible. And we turn very gentle. It will make its own way. It is not necessary to apply too much force. Advance until you notice how it reads the extruder gears. This will be our notice to stop and extract the tool by turning on the opposite direction. We are ready, have the internal channel ready for 220mm and 1.75 compatibility. We can put the tool away. Its use will no longer be necessary. Step 7. Cleaning the extruder channel. For mounting the new hotend, we blow or use a blower to remove the small internal debris or savings. And we also clean the bed. Step 8. Place the new hotend. Here, the process is the standard one again. Place the new hotend including 220mm kit and leave it fixed in its correct position so that it's well secured. We put on the protective silicone shock of the hotend. Step 9. Mount the cover. We remount the protective cover of the extruder and leave everything as it was. Step 10. PTFE. 2 options. Here, we propose 2 options. The first is to use the bypass connection of the printer. Place the original Teflon tube to the right extruder at the bypass output that exists for TPU in the Bambu Lab H2D on the back. This is a special entry for flexibles. Place your spool on the side support and that's it. But you should know something for flexibles. The ideal is to always have them in a dryer and away from humidity. So here, I show you the option 2, and the one we like the most. We put a source section of Teflon PTFE in the printing part of the right extruder. And to load the filament, we can use the side drying options for the spool. This is a place with a support that we have already designed and you can download it from our website recluse.com. It is compatible with several dryer models. This way, you can fit and dry the flexible filament at the same time. Step 11. Turn on. Load the filament and purge. We load 220mm filament. In this case, I recommend pushing the filament manually. We go to the Control tab, select the right hotend. We heat our nozzle to 250 and push down. This way, we perform a purge to ensure a clean path. If the purge comes out continuously, you are already 90% of success. The slicer, Bambu Studio. Just 3 changes, we already have our printer ready. Now it's our turn to change the license configuration. And here I give you 2 options. You can download our ready-to-go profiles, or if you prefer to do it yourself, I will tell you the basic changes you need to make to dive right into the 220mm flexible printing. Now, we are going to import the printing profile for Filaflex 2.20 in our Bambu Studio. Once we have downloaded the profiles from our website recluse.com, we are going to import in our slicer. Okay? First thing is to go here, import configs, and we are going to go to the where we have downloaded the profiles. We have here H2D, and we have unzipped the compressed file, and inside we will see the profiles that we want to import. We are going to select the material that we want to import, okay, and we are going to select this one. It's a zip, it's compressed. We click and open it. The number user preset cuts, don't worry about that. 6 configs are imported. Okay, that's the important thing. And now we have our material here. You go to custom and we can see Filaflex H2D 2.20. Perfect. Discard modified value, and here we will find our profiles in 2.20. That is this one, Filaflex H2D 2.20 Bambu Lab H2D. If we change the nozzle size, okay, to left and right, okay, you will see that we still have this one because we have imported profile for the 3 nozzle size, 0.4, 0.6 and 0.8, and you can still choose it and then look for this one. It's the 0.10 as default. Then you can change the profiles and you will see that everything is covered here. We are going to move back to 0.4, okay, left and right nozzle. We are going to select custom, Filaflex H2D, and this is the Recluse H2D. Now, if we go to the profile of the material, we can see that this is the nominal diameter of the 220, it's 218, the temperatures, the flow,
cooling settings are already set up. Okay, the retractions, while retracting, all it's already set up in our printer. And now we can slice. Remember, the material always needs to be on the right nozzle. The 220 always needs to be on the right nozzle. Slice. It's Filaflex 2.20. I'm going to change the color. And this is the already profile.
Now we are ready for the fun part, ready to print flexibles at good speed and in the different show harness we offer. Versatility. What if you want to back to 1.75 PLA or PTG? Put, load, and that's it. You can alternate 1.75 rigid materials or 220 flexible materials as many times as you need without changing the hotend anytime.
In this tutorial, we are going to explain how to combine two different filaments of different diameter. For example, our Filaflex 2.20 in the right nozzle and a regular PLA in 1.75 in the left nozzle. Okay, important thing that I want that you notice that. Okay, if for example, if we add another material, for example, we are going to add a PLA basic, okay, and we are going to create, for example, for this part, support in PLA, we are going to move, okay, to 45 degrees to generate supports, and let's see, there is not any problem, okay? We have two different diameters. PLA basic is in 1.75 and Filaflex 2.20 is in the regular diameter, that is in 2.18. That is the nominal diameter of Filaflex 2.20. Okay, there is no any problem. We can print without any problem. But when we switch to generate a prime tower and put enable, it will see that error. Different nozzle diameters and different filament diameters is not allowed when prime tower is enabled. Okay, and if you want to print a shoe or something like that, you will need a prime tower. This is how we are going to solve this problem. The problem is that both filaments needs to be in the same diameter. And what we are going to do is to edit the PLA basic, the left nozzle diameter. We're going to put 220. And you will say, yes, but the flow will need the proper flow for this diameter. Yes, we need to lie to the slicer. And I'm going to explain how to lie to the slicer. For this, I have this that I want to explain you. Compensate flow calculation for 1.75 declared as 220. The logic is pure volumetric. The slicer calculates how many millimeters of filament to advance based on the cross-sectional area of diameter you have told it. If you lie about the diameter, you have to compensate with flow. And this is the formula. Flow is the diameter declared divided by the actual diameter, with your values are declared 220 and actual 1.75. And the flow, it will be the square of this result. And why? This is the final result you need to put on the flow, and that we are going to flow on the left extruder. And why a square? Because the slicer calculates the volume using circular area, and the area scales with the diameter square by telling if the filament is thicker than it actually is, it advances less filament than needed. So you have to compensate by multiplying the flow rate. And this is the thing that we are going to do right now. This value we are going to put here in the flow ratio. We are going to put in the left nozzle, that is a basic in the left nozzle, we are going to put 1.58 to compensate the extra diameter that we have lie in here, okay? This is the value we need to put. This is a start point, okay? Then if you want, we can adjust, but under my experience, it works really well with the regular 1.70 PLA. And now we have the two diameters, the same two diameters in both heads, in both hotends, left and right. And now you will see that it allows us to create the support material and also the prime tower. As you can see, the prime tower here, and it allows us to print with the prime tower. This is a tip that is really important if we want to print, for example, a shoe with a TPU or foamy TPU or foamy Filaflex and use PLA supports. And don't get crazy about this error of different diameter when using prime tower.
And that's it. 220mm hotend mounted. Set it in the slicer, done. And flex printing as it should. Faster, cleaner, and with fewer failures. Find this entire step-by-step guide, the profiles, the tutorials for another compatible printers, plus a place to ask any question you have. We will be happy to answer on our website, recus.com. Welcome to the new 220mm standard for flexible printing.